Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood to completely demystify what makes businesses really tick, from the raw initial spark of an idea in a founder's mind, all the way to massive societal impact. If you've ever found yourself wondering what actually drives the engine of our economy, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Think about this for a second. What actually separates the friendly neighborhood barber from a global tech billionaire like Elon Musk? Is it just pure luck? Is it access to massive capital? Or is there a fundamental difference in how they approach risk, innovation, and scale? Understanding that distinction is literally the key to understanding the entire business landscape.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the entrepreneurial spirit. Second, traits and tough challenges. Third, types, startups and SMEs. Fourth, economic impact and barriers. And finally, number 5, the compass of ethics. Let's dive right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the entrepreneurial spirit, defining the core. Now, when Robert Hisrick defines entrepreneurship, notice how he doesn't just talk about making money. He explicitly highlights assuming psychic and social risks. We constantly hear about the huge financial gambles of starting a business, right? But the true entrepreneurial spirit requires laying your reputation and your own emotional well-being on the line for ultimate independence. It's a deeply personal commitment to creating something of value.
Moving right along to Section 2, Traits and Tough Challenges, the Individual Reality.
You see, every successful founder needs this crazy internal duality. On one hand, you absolutely must be a visionary. You have to see a long-term goal that doesn't even exist yet. But hey, a vision without execution, that's just a daydream. That's exactly why it has to be paired with grueling, consistent commitment. Because when that initial excitement fades, sheer hard work is what actually keeps the doors open.
And these traits, they don't just operate in a vacuum. It's a really complex psychological balancing act. Being an innovator who takes calculated risks is pretty much useless unless you are also a strong leader who can communicate those wild ideas to investors. And when risks fail, and they will, you must be adaptable enough to pivot without ever losing sight of the end goal. But let's not romanticize the whole thing. Founders have to climb incredibly steep hills. Just getting market trust to build a solid customer base takes massive amounts of time. And if you actually pull it off, well, then you face the paradox of scaling, trying to manage explosive growth without losing the core quality that put you on the map in the first place. The emotional pressure here is just staggering. Imagine trying to juggle marketing, accounting, management, and your reward, the sheer uncertainty of zero guaranteed income. Plus, limited capital makes it incredibly difficult to hire the exact talent you need to survive. Honestly, it's a recipe for burnout that will absolutely crush anyone who isn't mentally prepared for the grind.
All right, shifting gears to Section 3, Types, Startups, and SMEs, the mechanisms of business.
The crucial point to remember here is that not all entrepreneurs actually want the same thing. You've got your serial entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, who thrive on that chaotic startup phase and build multiple companies in a row. Contrast that with lifestyle entrepreneurs like freelancers who just want a flexible life, not a global empire. And then you have social entrepreneurs like Muhammad Yunus or Dr. Amjad Saqib, where profit is merely a tool for solving severe societal problems rather than the ultimate goal.
You know, we often use the words startup and small business totally interchangeably, but they are entirely different beasts. A scalable startup like an Uber or an Airbnb is built for high risk and rapid global growth, usually backed by venture capitalists aiming for a massive IPO. Meanwhile, a small business, think of a local salon or a tuition center, operates on an established model, carrying moderate risk with a hyper-focus on local long-term stability.
Zooming out now for Section 4, Economic Impact and Barriers, the macro lens.
80%. I mean, that is just a staggering number. In Pakistan, small and medium enterprises generate 80% of all non-agricultural employment. They are the absolute primary engine keeping people working and putting food on the table across the entire country.
And the impact doesn't even stop at employment. SMEs contribute roughly 40% to the entire GDP of the nation. They drive vital exports in major sectors like textiles and sports goods, bringing in crucial foreign revenue while actively curbing rural poverty.
But here's the real tragedy of it all. Despite their massive economic weight, these businesses are basically fighting with one hand tied behind their backs. They are held back by severe structural barriers. They have limited access to the financing they desperately need to grow. They suffer from poor infrastructure, outdated technology, and super heavy regulatory burdens. Plus, they face a labor force with a very real skills gap, which makes it incredibly difficult to access lucrative international markets. Unleashing their true potential means we absolutely have to break down these exact barriers.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the compass of ethics, societal responsibility.
When we talk about value-driven business practices, historical context is incredibly powerful. A prime historical example is the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Long before his prophethood, he was a highly successful trader, managing caravans across the Arabian Peninsula alongside Hazrat Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her. But his success wasn't built on ruthlessness. It was built on being known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Through honesty, absolute integrity, excellent communication, and a truly global outlook, he demonstrated that ethical conduct is actually the ultimate, rock-solid foundation for sustainable commercial success.
That historical example translates so perfectly into core modern principles. Because business ethics isn't just some abstract theory. It means practicing absolute transparency in your financial reporting. It means real fairness in how you treat your lowest paid employee. And it means accountability, having the integrity to act morally even when cutting a corner would be the easy way out.
Which leaves us with this final, vital question. We've explored the raw spirit required to start a business, the grueling hurdles you'll inevitably face, the different vehicles you can build, and the immense impact you can have on the economy. But knowledge without application? That's just trivia. So how will you take these traits, these structures, and most importantly, this ethical compass, and apply them to your own entrepreneurial journey? Think about what kind of value you really want to build in the world. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.